Hey guys, Denise with Lazy K Homestead. Well, today we are going to make honey whole wheat cinnamon raisin bagels. That is a mouthful, isn't it? Well, the other day I had made my no knead honey whole wheat bread, and I've got the video up, and that is what you call the mother dough. It makes a lot of dough, and at the end of that video, I had put the rest of my dough in the fridge, and it is still chilly, but I'm going to pour it out on a cookie sheet here that I've got some cornmeal so it doesn't stick. Sorry, I couldn't think. But anyways, I'm going to pour that out, and then we will proceed with the rest of the, hold on, let me put this down, the bagel recipe. But as you can see, this is still nice, and it's still got a lot of elasticity to it. So we can use this for bagels. Now, if you guys haven't made bagels before, it's a little bit of work, but it's a lot of fun. And what you're going to need is a stock pot of boiling water, and I've got mine simmering over here on the stove. You put that up so you can see I've got that. It had come to a boil. It's simmering on the stove. Because with bagels, you're going to form your bagel, and then you're going to pop it in the boiling water. Well, it's kind of semi-boiling water for 2 minutes. Bring them out, let them rest, drain off the water, and then you're going to bake them. And that's makes it for a real nice crusty crust. So what I'm going to do right now is, again, put my tripod down so you can see what I'm doing here. All right. So here's our dough, and like I said, it is cold. And what we want to do is roll it out, and I'm going to use my hands at first. You can use your hands or a rolling pin, whatever is easier for you. I find that these God-given hands here really do well. Okay, and you want to pat this out or roll it out to about 3/4 inch thick. Maybe a little bit less, but we'll see where we get to. Okay. All right. Then make sure it's kind of even, but I think that's pretty good. It's really cold. But like I said, this recipe is so neat because you can just pop it in the fridge and bring this out when you want to and use it. I wouldn't keep it in there a week. I would keep it in there maybe 3 days. This has been in there 2 days. Okay, so now I've got that nicely patted out, just like if you're making cinnamon rolls. And you're just going to sprinkle sugar. Now I'm using brown sugar because that's what I had. You can use white sugar. I wouldn't use honey. I've already got honey in the dough, just because you don't want it to be too sticky. Okay, and then you sprinkle cinnamon. Now, if you guys wanted to use any other spices, herbs, whatever you want, if you don't want a cinnamon raisin, you could make any kind you wanted to, or just make plain bagels. And then what I'm going to do is just sprinkle a little bit of cardamom, because this is like the spice that I am in love with. If you've seen my videos and I'm baking, I'm probably putting cardamom on everything. Okay, and then I've got raisins. Now, if you wanted to use dried raisins or cranberries or blueberries, whatever dried fruit you have, get your hands on, you can use anything. Apricots, peaches, whatever you've got dried. Strawberries, you name it. Okay, let me see. I'll put a little bit more. All right, so there we go. And now you're just going to roll this up just like in a jelly roll, just like if you were making the cinnamon rolls. Okay. And that's what's nice about having that cornmeal down here, is it makes it so it's not going to stick. You could use flour, but I prefer the cornmeal because I think it really does a better job. Okay. Let me just pull this back so you can see what I'm doing. All right. Some of those raisins are escaping, but that's all right. Okay. And you're just going to pinch it like that, like you would if you're making, again, the rolls. And now what you're going to do, you're actually going to form this into a ball. After you've got all that incorporated, you're not kneading, you're just going to go ahead and just form it into a ball where it just is like a big piece of dough again. And I am going to put some of my cornmeal that I've got here. Get rid of some of these raisins so I can use this cornmeal. And just set it here. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to pinch off a piece about the size of a peach. Let me see here. Okay. And we're just going to work that into a ball like so. Now you might have to pull it a little bit just to make sure that your raisins are staying in there. But there you go. And you're just going to put that down here. And you're going to do that until all your dough is finished. I might have 6 bagels here, but that's usually what you buy in a sack when you're buying them at the store. And you just kind of fold it. You see what I'm doing? Just kind of folding it into itself. So the raisins are all tucked inside. Okay. All right. Let me get some whole wheat flour on my hands. It does get a little sticky, but you can work it a little bit better. And I just want those raisins to kind of stick in there. Okay. There you go. And I'll continue doing this until they are all in balls. And these are your bagels. Now that one's not, well, it'll be okay. I don't mind a small bagel. Do you? No. And I love making these. I remember the first time I ever made bagels, I was a teenager. And we were living, Dad had gotten transferred to South Korea. And this is in the mid-70s. And I was a senior in high school. And oh man, I was really devastated. Because a senior in high school and, you know, all the stuff that goes on with that. So when we got over there, it was not as westernized as it is now, from my understanding. And I started baking. That was really my baking and introduction to baking, because it gave me something to do and not have a pity party and why I wasn't at home with my friends in the States. But I'll have to tell you, thinking back on it all these years later, I met so many wonderful people. Our dad worked for a big company, and we had a lot of people from all over the world that lived on what they called our compound. And and I still have those friends to this day, which is pretty cool, I think. Okay, and we are just continuing to put this into a ball, poking those raisins in there. Those little guys are trying to escape. You just want to kind of poke them in on each other, like so. A little bit of flour. Now I'm using the flour as I'm forming the ball, but I'm not using it down here because it does get sticky. Now I'm going to try to pick up some of these raisins I lost here and just put them in this last bagel ball. Now, it's a little sticky here. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go ahead and let these rest and rise for about 20 minutes. I'm going to go out there and check my greenhouse and see if anybody's out there. Usually they'll honk when they come. I did pretty well yesterday, so still got a lot of good stuff out there. All right, so there's that last one. I'm going to go ahead and put a piece of plastic wrap over these and time them for 20 minutes, and I'll be back. Okay, it's 20 minutes later, and this is the step where you're actually going to form your bagel to where it looks like a bagel with the hole in it. Now, what I've got over here on the stove is my stock pot, and the water is boiling. So at this point, I'm going to add 1/4 cup of sugar. I'm using brown this time, and 1 teaspoon of baking soda. And what this does is ensures that your bagel has a nice crispy, chewy crust. Otherwise, if you just boil them in the water for the 2 minutes, it'll have a bread texture. And I like mine to be just a little bit more chewy, you know, like that you would buy at the store. So I'm going to go ahead and add this to it. Turn it down to medium so it's just simmering. And then while I'm doing that, I'm going to remove the plastic wrap and put you guys down here to see what I'm doing. Okay, what we're going to do, I'm going to go ahead and flour my hands. And I'm going to pick up my first bagel, and I'm going to put my thumb through this. Okay, and you will need some flour to work with it. Okay, all right, and what you're going to do is just kind of stretch through. And you want to stretch it pretty big. And this is elastic dough, so don't be afraid. And you're just going to go ahead and put that down. And it's got the hole in it. You're going to go ahead and see if I can get that in the video. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and just do that again with this. And I just have my little thing of whole wheat flour right there next to me. Okay, and I've seen them do it in the, the delis like that. Of course, they're professionals. I am a home baker that likes to try new stuff. And like I said, the last time I made bagels, well, I've made them over the years, but the first time I ever made them was in the 70s when I was a teenager. And it was fun. It was just kind of fun to say, oh, I made bagels, you know. Alrighty. Of course, if you guys are all out there and you've made bagels a lot in your life, you might think that I'm looking like I'm all thumbs. Get it? Get the pun? But you guys can see how the holes are staying. After I get all these done, I'm going to go ahead and we'll pop them in that boiling water. And we will simmer them for 2 minutes. And just make sure I got that on there. And this is just something that I enjoy doing. I like to, when my grandkids are here, I enjoy cooking with them. They all always ask me, Grandma, can we cook when they come to visit? And that just warms my heart because I want them to remember me that way. And hopefully pass down these recipes and, you know, make them want to try new things. Okay, guys, here, let me go ahead and put a little bit more. That last one was kind of small. Just stretch it out. Okay, so there you go. There's the bagels. So I'm going to go ahead and bring the tripod over here. I can't get super close with this tripod, but I think it's close enough for you to see what I'm doing. And I'm going to use this tool right here. I don't know what it's called, but slotted large spoon. I've seen them use that in the by cooking Chinese food and stuff. So you're just going to pop your bagel down in the water. And they'll sink, but they'll float to the top. And you're going to want to simmer them for 2 minutes. And I'll see if I can't take the camera off the tripod so you can actually see this. What's going on? There they are. You can see how they float to the top. And you can kind of see how they are forming the awesome bagel. So in 2 minutes, we'll be back with the next step. Okay, here we are. It's been 2 minutes. I've got 2 clean tea towels down here. And what we're going to do next is we are going to lightly sprinkle some whole wheat flour down here. And we're going to bring these bagels out and we are going to set them on this and let some of that water drain before we bake them. I've got my oven preheating right now at 425. And these are pretty wet when you take them out. So don't be alarmed. We're going to let them rest a couple minutes right here, waiting for the oven to preheat. I also have put in my oven a metal cake pan, just like a one-layer cake pan with water, and I've got that on the bottom shelf, the bottom rack, and that will also ensure for a really crunchy bagel, or I don't want to say crunchy, but chewy. Sometimes bagels can be a little crunchy, but we're going to let this rest for a couple minutes, and then we will go on to the next step, which is baking them. Okay, here we are at the step where we're going to go ahead and put them on the cookie sheet. If you've got a baking stone, that's great too, but you do want to kind of spread a little bit of that cornmeal on there. It ensures that they don't stick, and it also gives a little nice texture on the bottom. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and transfer these bagels onto the cookie sheet. Got my oven on there. Probably, let's see, they are sticking a little bit to this, but that's okay. That means that a lot of that moisture got out of there. Okay, there we go. Wasn't too hard. Transfer it to my cookie sheet. I used to have one of those baking stones. I think it was a Pampered Chef or something like that, but I don't know what happened to it over the years. I used to cook pizzas on it. Okay. These really look nice. I'll tell you, I'm really happy with them. And again, my oven is preheated at 425 with the water in the little pan in there to ensure even a more crusty, chewy bagel. There we go. I'm going to pop these in the oven for 20 minutes. Ooh, you can see the steam coming out. My glasses are fogged. So we're going to go ahead and set the time for 20 minutes, and I'll be back. Hopefully I'll be able to see. Okay, here we are 20 minutes later. We go ahead and take the bagels out of the oven. Let the steam kind of pass there. And look at these. Don't they look good? Wow, really happy with that. All right. Nice and plumped up. Look great. Okay, we'll go ahead and they got to make sure that you can hear that. Let me go ahead and put this tripod down again. You can hear that. And they're hollow, so you know that they're done. You can turn them over. You can tell that they're done on that side too, just by that sound, kind of an echoey sound. That's with bread. You want to hear that sound because you don't want any dough that's gooey in the middle. So it really doesn't taste that good. All right. So I'm going to let these rest just a few minutes. Let's see if I can get a better picture over there. You can see these. Look how nice they look. Aren't they pretty? Oh, they smell so good. The house smells like cinnamon, raisin, cardamom. My holes in some of them did kind of, ow, I burnt myself. Part of baking. Did kind of go in together, but you can see them in there. There's a nice one there. So I will, as soon as I can cool these down for just a minute, I'll go ahead and open one up and put some butter on it and show you what it looks like. Okay, I let them cool about 5 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and take this one, and I'm just using my bread knife. Hear that? Oh, isn't that nice? That's the sound you want to get through your bagel. And most of the time when you buy bagels, they're already pre-sliced. There you go. See that steam? Oh, they smell so good. I'm going to go ahead and have me one for breakfast. Put a little butter on each one. I don't have any cream cheese right now, so I'm going to go ahead and just put a little butter on here. Oh, wow. Let's try this baby out. Oh man. It's good. Good. Nice and chewy. Texture's great. Mm. So this is with the whole wheat, no knead mother dough that I made these. Leftover dough. And I will go ahead and put this recipe in the description. These are so good. Give them a try, guys. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. Okay, see you soon. Bye.